Hi, so this is my assignment 3 for my Alice World story and animation. And to begin, I'm going to show you guys my code. So beginning, here's my first methods and just example of the whole situation. And later on, after I show you guys my procedures, I'll go through and point out where each of these procedures take place. So to begin, my first procedure out of the 4 is my flip procedure, and this is for my biped. And my 2 bipeds in my story is my child biped, which is Ted, and I also have a bunny biped. And in this story, they flip. So they first move up a certain amount of distance for a certain duration, and then they turn right and do a certain amount of flips for a certain duration, and then move down a certain amount for a certain duration. And Ted does this in the beginning of the story, and later on, the bunny will do this as well. Next, my next procedure is from Ted, the child biped, and it's called Ted turns. And then in this procedure, Ted will turn right a certain amount of distance, and then he will move his elbow for his arm to move up a certain amount of distance and for a certain duration in order to have the magnet reach out and grab any certain metal object. This is done in numerous amounts of times in order for each metal object to be attracted to the magnet and for Ted to turn. My next procedure is for my props, and it's called move to, and this is in order for the props to make sure they can attach the magnet, stay on the magnet, turn to face the gopher hole, and to fall into the gopher hole. So to begin, the object, whatever one is selected, will move towards the metal object, which is the magnet, which is also a banana, a certain amount of distance, and then altogether, the certain object will attach to the metal object with the set vehicle, which is the magnet, and then that object will turn right with the magnet, and then it will also turn to face the gopher hole. Then it will move towards the gopher hole, the certain object, and go down a certain amount of distance, and then it will disappear with the set opacity procedure. And then Ted will then move his right elbow down back to a normal standard position before he moves on to do the next assignment. My next procedure and my final procedure is also for my bipeds, and it's called the jump procedure. And in the jump procedure, the biped, which are the bunny and Ted, will both move towards a car and jump on the car. And so to begin, one of the bipeds will move towards the car on the ground a certain amount of distance, and then once it reaches the car, it will go up a certain height of the car, and then it will move forward onto the car until it's on the platform, and then it will turn to face the other biped. So either the Ted will turn and face the bunny or vice versa. And this is allowing for the story to continue on and to make sense. And so now I'm going to show you my first methods and show you guys where each of these procedures take place. So to begin, as you can see right here, this is where Ted will flip a certain amount and a certain amount of times before all the objects will come into place and stop being invisible. The next procedure is then used numerous times below this, and it's the Ted turn procedure, like mentioned earlier. And this allows for Ted to turn his body to face a certain metal object and for him to raise his arm a certain amount. And then you can see that I move on to my third procedure, which is the move to, and this allows for the metal object to be attracted to the magnet, for the magnet and the object to turn, face the gopher hole, and for the metal object to fall into the gopher hole. And this continues back and forth for each object numerous times. And then we finally get to, we keep going, the fourth procedure, which is the jump procedure, and this is when both objects, the bunny and Ted, jump onto the car, and they do it at different moments. And lastly, to finish off, the flip procedure happens later on for the bunny. So this was my quoting for my assignment 3. Thank you.